Spawn is one of the most iconic anti-heroes in comic book history, and over the years, the mantle of Spawn has taken many different forms across timelines, dimensions, and realities. Today, we're diving deep into every major variant of Spawn, from the classic to the more obscure. Let's break it down. Classic Spawn, Al Simmons. Let's start where it all began. Al Simmons, a highly skilled CIA operative, is betrayed and assassinated by his own people. After dying, he makes a desperate deal with Malebolgia, a demon lord, to return to Earth and see his wife one last time. But deals with devils never go as planned. Simmons is resurrected as a Hellspawn, a being fused with necroplasm, hell magic, and a living symbiotic suit. He's grotesquely burned, cursed with fragmented memories, and armed with powers like shape-shifting, regeneration, energy manipulation, and limited time before he's dragged back to hell. This classic Spawn variant is the foundation upon which all other versions build, balancing brutal justice with personal torment. Medieval Spawn, Sir John of York. Now imagine Spawn but in a chainmail helmet and swinging a sword. That's Medieval Spawn. Sir John of York, a 16th century knight who served the king with honor before being falsely accused and executed. Like Simmons, he made a deal with a demon and became a Hellspawn. His necroplasmic powers are the same, but they're infused with the chivalry, guilt, and violence of the medieval era. Unlike most Spawns, he's one of the few who attempted to retain a moral compass and even allied with Angela, the angelic hunter of Hellspawn. His armor is gothic, his sword crackles with demonic energy, and he brings a uniquely Arthurian vibe to the Spawn mythos. Gunslinger Spawn, Jeremy Winston. Gunslinger Spawn brings the Wild West to the dark mythos of Spawn. Jeremy Winston was a preacher turned outlaw in the 1800s whose family was slaughtered by a corrupt posse. Wrongfully lynched and sent to hell, Winston becomes a Hellspawn and returns as Gunslinger Spawn, a spectral cowboy with demonic revolvers, hellfire shotgun blasts, and a tattered duster cloak that gives him an unmistakable silhouette. He's driven by vengeance, and his brutal take on frontier justice makes him one of the most visually striking and fan-favorite variants of the franchise. King Spawn. After years of internal battles and cosmic revelations, Al Simmons becomes King Spawn, a darker, more commanding version of the classic Spawn. With a refined, ominous crown and amplified powers, King Spawn is no longer just a rogue soldier of hell. He's a ruler, willing to embrace heavier tactics to tear down the forces of both heaven and hell. His power is near godlike, allowing him to warp reality, summon legions, and unleash apocalyptic destruction. King Spawn represents the evolution of Simmons as a character, from victim to vengeful warrior to reluctant monarch. Omega Spawn. Now we're getting cosmic. Omega Spawn is one of the most powerful versions ever introduced. This form appears when Spawn absorbs godlike energies and becomes capable of taking on hell and heaven at a universal scale. Omega Spawn has a monstrous design, towering in size with grotesque armor, energy pulses, and eyes that blaze with raw fury. He embodies destruction on a cosmic level, turning Spawn from a street-level anti-hero into a nearly unbeatable force of divine retribution. Think Galactus vibes, but, chains and necroplasm. Mandarin Spawn. Mandarin Spawn is more of a visual reimagining than a distant character in canon, but he's too cool to just leave out. Inspired by Chinese mythology and aesthetics, Mandarin Spawn wields a massive blade and is decked out in ornate golden armor adorned with dragon motifs. While not always featured in mainline stories, he represents how the Spawn concept can transcend cultures. He's been used in figure lines, alternate timelines, and stylized art, and his elegant ceremonial design contrasts beautifully with the gritty look of most other Spawns. Dark Ages Spawn, Lord Covenant. Dark Ages Spawn, aka Lord Ian Covenant, brings medieval carnage with a heavier historical edge. A crusading knight betrayed during the Inquisition, Covenant becomes a Hellspawn to avenge his death and free his tortured soul. His design is raw, iron armor, a massive sword, and medieval iconography fused with demonic fire. This Spawn's stories are gritty, brutal, and deeply tragic. Diving into themes of religious hypocrisy, guilt, and redemption, he's a perfect example of Spawn as a symbol that transcends eras and still carries thematic weight. Godslayer Spawn, Bairn. This version takes a wild left turn. Godslayer Spawn, or Bairn, appears in a fantasy alternate universe. He's a warrior who kills gods in service of a mysterious mistress, eventually becoming disillusioned and seeking revenge against her. The Godslayer version strips Spawn of the usual hell versus heaven dynamic and drops him into a realm of ancient deities, forgotten realms, and high fantasy. His look is epic, armored like a mythic knight, wielding arcane weapons, and navigating a world of betrayal and eldritch horror. If Dark Souls had a Spawn skin, it would be the Godslayer. Spawn X. Spawn X is a futuristic version of Spawn from a technologically advanced alternate timeline. Decked out in cybernetic armor with energy weapons and enhancements, this variant explores what Spawn would look like if reborn in a sci-fi dystopia. He's still powered by necroplasm, but enhanced with advanced tech, giving him a whole new tactical edge. He's perfect for fans who wonder what Spawn would look like in a world of megacities, AI overlords, and robotic warfare. It's Blade Runner meets hell. Angel Spawn. Angel Spawn is a rare and obscure version where Spawn is infused with celestial energy, giving him access to holy powers rather than demonic. This transformation usually happens when Spawn allies closely with heaven or resists his hellborn nature so fiercely that divine forces empower him. The result? A cleaner, more radiant version of Spawn, often with glowing white and gold armor, feathered wings, and light-based attacks. It's a striking departure from his usual look and symbolizes inner redemption. Angel Spawn isn't common, but when he appears, it's a moment of spiritual upheaval. She-Spawn, Jessica Priest. Jessica Priest was originally introduced as the assassin who killed Simmons. After dying herself and going through her own trials in hell, she returns as She-Spawn, and she's not just a gender-swapped Al. Jessica has her own fighting style, backstory, and motives. Armed with necroplasm and a serious arsenal of firearms, she's one of the most badass characters in the current Spawn universe. Her suit is sleeker, more tactical, and designed for modern warfare. She often leads missions and has been romantically linked with other Spawn variants. She-Spawn adds a sharp edge to the mythos and is getting more attention than ever in recent comics. Commando Spawn. Commando Spawn is essentially Simmons when he embraces his military training full throttle. Equipped with tactical gear, heavy guns, and military strategy layered over his necroplasmic abilities, Commando Spawn leads into the Spec Ops roots of the character. While not always a separate entity, this version appears during arcs when Simmons operates like a one-man army, blending supernatural warfare with real-world Black Ops tactics. Think Rambo plus demonic power. Ninja Spawn. Ninja Spawn is a stylized version of Spawn that emphasizes stealth, speed, and precision. He's appeared in toys, promotional art, and alternate realities, with sleeker armor, silent weapons, and fluid movement. Ninja Spawn is less brute force and more surgical. This version is often used in crossovers or what-if stories, but he's a fan favorite for his cool factor alone. Visually, it's a mix of feudal Japan and infernal menace. Raven Spawn. One of the creepiest and most visually striking variants, Raven Spawn is a death dealer with a skeletal mask, a spiked staff, and long tattered robes. He doesn't speak much. His presence alone is terrifying, often appearing as an enforcer for hell or as a lone Reaper-type figure. Raven Spawn represents the mythic horror side of the Spawn universe. He's less about character development and more about pure fear, the embodiment of death's inevitability. So there you have it, every major Spawn variant from across the multiverse and timeline. Whether they're knights, cowboys, angels, cyber warriors, or reapers, each Spawn brings something unique to the mythos. From classic vengeance to divine power and cosmic rage, the Spawn legacy continues to evolve. And with McFarlane's universe expanding, who knows what hellish or heavenly forms will arise next. So, which version of Spawn is your favorite? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss these deep dives and strange lore. We'll see you in the next video.